Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Today we will be discussing an important topic under IHS124, building construction in industrial site. Our focus is on various hazards that exist on the construction site, the risks involved, and how we can control them effectively. Let's begin with this question. What can you see? This image represents a construction site, but more importantly, what are the dangers hiding in the plain sight? Are the workers exposed to the falling risks? Machines are being operated in unsafe ways? And unclear work zone? These visual cues help us think critically about the hazard before they can cause harm. We must be trained to observe, identify, and act on unsafe conditions. But before I go into details, let's take a moment and watch this short video. It will give us a clear picture of hazard we're talking about and how important these safety practices are. Based on the video, we can clearly see that the construction workers are constantly surrounded by danger. So this brings us to an important question. What are the actual hazards on site? What the risks that they pose? And what kind of effect that can they have on us as a worker? First, heavy machinery is a common hazard in many industrial and construction environments. This risk involves being hit, crushed, or trapped by moving part. If such incidents occur, the effect can be devastating, ranging for severe injuries and fracture to amputation or even death. Second, manual labor. Manual labor involves physical tasks such as lifting, carrying, and repetitive movement, often performed under time pressure. The risks include muscle overextraction and strain due to poor posture or repetitive motion. The risks often lead to effects such as back pain, muscle strain, spinal injury, and long-term repetitive strain disorder. Third is electrical hazard that arise from the presence of the live wire, exposed electrical components, or faulty equipment. The main risk involve accidental contact with live circuit or damaged wiring. The effect of such contact can be extremely harmful and include electrical short, burns, electrocution, fires, and potentially fatal arc blast. Fourth, noise. High level of noise from machinery, power tool, or ongoing construction workers are a serious hazard in many workplaces. This becomes a risk when workers are exposed to loud environment for extended period. The long-term risk is damaging the inner ear, leading to hearing loss or noise-induced hearing loss and IHL. Additionally, effects include difficulty in communication, which can increase the chance of accident due to missed warning or instruction. Fifth, slip, trip, and fall. Slip, trip, and fall are a common hazard found in workplace with wet floor, uneven surface, or scattered object. The risk occur when the employees walk through the area without noticing the hazard, especially in poorly filtered environment. The consequences of slipping and falling can be serious, often resulting in sprain, fracture, back injury, and even head trauma. Lastly, dust and airborne particles. Dust and airborne particles are often present in working environment when cutting, drilling, and demolition take place. The risk involves breathing in the final particles that settles in the lung that can include coughing, asthma, lung disease, and also long-term respiratory condition. Now that we know the hazard that occurs in the construction site, how do we control them? So, there are five ways to control them in the hierarchy of control from the most effective one. First is the elimination. It is completely remove the hazard from the workplace. Second is substitution. Replace the hazard with something safer. Third, engineering control. Physically isolate the people from the hazard. Fourth, administrative control. Change the way people work to reduce the exposure. And lastly, the last line of defense is personal protective equipment where we should always wear to protect us against the hazard. Here are some of the examples on how we can apply those controls to each type of hazard. First, for heavy machinery safety, we ensure that only trained operators can handle the heavy machinery. Regular maintenance is crucial to prevent malfunction. We also install safety barrier and ensure all workers to wear the correct and suitable PPE such as helmet, glove, and reflective vest. Second, for manual labor hazard can be controlled by using lifting tool, sharing heavy loads, and lifting with the correct posture. Workers should get proper training, wear safety gear like glove and back support, and take turn doing repetitive tasks to avoid injury. For electrical safety, we use lock-out, tag-out procedure. Tools must be insulated and inspected regularly, and workers also need to wear an appropriate and suitable electrical PPE to prevent shocks or burn. Dust from cutting or grinding is managed by using mask or respiratories and applying water spray to control dust and maintaining good ventilation in the workplace. To control noise hazard, workers should wear earplug and earmuff every time they are using any machine or equipment that produce loud noise. Equipment should be regularly maintained and exposure time should be limited, especially in high noise zone. Finally, to prevent the slip, trip, and fall incident, we should always keep the site tidy, use clear warning sign, and wear proper footwear.
In industrial building construction, where large machinery, complex systems, and hazardous materials are part of everyday work, safety isn't just a requirement, it is a legal duty. That's why we refer to the Occupational Safety and Health Construction Work Design and Management Regulation 2024, introduced under OSHA 1994. These regulations were designed to protect construction workers, especially in high-risk environments like factories, power stations, and refineries, by emphasizing planning and coordination before work even begins. One key requirement is Regulation 8, which mandates that a risk assessment must be conducted before starting any task. This step is essential for identifying site-specific hazards, like working in confined spaces or operating cranes, and implementing controls early. Next, under Regulation 16, every contractor must establish and practice emergency procedures. This could cover fire, chemical leaks, equipment failure, and rescue operation. For example, a warehouse storing flammable solvent must have a fire evacuation route clearly marked and rehearsed. Lastly, chemical safety is governed under the 4 schedule. This includes the proper storage, labeling, and ventilation for chemicals. Employer must also provide appropriate PPE such as gloves and respirators when workers handle hazardous substances like adhesive and cleaning agents. Overall, this 2024 regulation pinpoints that safety starts at the design stage, not after something goes wrong. Once workers are on site, the next step is to make sure they are fully prepared. That's where industrial safety procedures come in. First, safety induction is mandatory. Every new worker, no matter how experienced, must be briefed on the specific hazard of the site, like moving forklifts, pressurized system, and chemical zones. This ensures everyone starts on the same page. Then, we have emergency drills, particularly important in industrial setting where a small mistake can cause a chain reaction. Fire drills, chemical spill response, and confined space rescue simulation must be conducted regularly so that workers know exactly how to react. The permit to work system is another vital procedure. Workers cannot just enter confined space like tanks or ducts without written authorization. This area can quickly become deadly if oxygen levels drop or if toxic gases accumulate. The permit ensures proper testing and ventilation before entry. Lastly, toolbox talks are conducted before shifts. These are short, focused discussion on current risks, maybe about upcoming hot works or nearby crane activity. Toolbox meeting boosts communication, awareness, and teamwork on the job. These procedures aren't just checklists, they are life-saving routines that must be taken seriously. Safety and Health File act as a central documentation system, required by the OSH Construction Work Regulation 2024. It holds everything related to safety management on the site, where you will find risk assessment for all major tasks. Machine safety checklists, which verify that cranes, forklift, or pressure system are inspected and safe to operate. Worker training logs, where it's recorded which staff receive forklift operation training or hazardous material handling certification. Incident reports and safety inspection, which are reviewed to prevent recurrence of accidents. Finally, the emergency contact list, so quick response teams can be notified without delay. This file must be kept up to date, accessible, and confidentially stored. It's not only for audits, it's for accountability and transparency. If an accident occurs, this is the first place investigators will look. In industrial building construction, where even small oversight can lead to catastrophic consequences, keeping a complete and organized safety and health file is a proactive step toward a safer work culture.